Today we are going to learn giving the permissions to the users. So to give the permissions to the users, we have to know how many users were available in our system. And I'm opening Active Directory. Here we have Active Directory users and computers. So I have Firefox here. Here I have Firefox and I'm not opened any site here. Okay, and I have Chrome and which we opened with the system account, and I'm opening another browser as well, and this is Internet Explorer and will open bit later. So before that, I opened Active Directory. Here I have a lot of users, and I have Keshav, Mahesh, Praveen, and so on. So now these are the users, and I'm doing this Praveen, going to properties. I'm adding this user into administrators group because IE will not open if the user is not in administrators group. So that's why I'm making this user into administrators. No, I think it's administrators. No, I think we missed out STRA, administrators. Okay, click OK. Now apply, click OK. Now I'm trying to open IE with a different user. Now the username is Praveen. I'm entering password. And this is my site. Okay, and I'm trying to open this complete site inside IE. See, I got a message, sorry, this site hasn't been shared with you. So what, this IE is opened with a Praveen account, and I'm going back to my site. This is my site. I want to give a permissions to any user. I can go to the site action gear, click site settings option. Here we have an option called site permissions. Hit site permissions. Now here we have few SharePoint groups, and we'll discuss this one a bit later. Now I'm trying to check the permissions. I have check permission option here. When I try to enter a username here, and it will try to fetch, see, it's loading from what it is trying to fetch. It's trying to fetch the data from the Active Directory or any authentication provider which is associated with this particular site. So that's why it is now it's trying to load something. Yes, we got a username Praveen A, which is in Active Directory. See the message, Active Directory Lanka/Praveen, and this is a domain. Lanka is a domain name and Praveen is a username. Now what I'm doing is I'm selecting this Praveen A, click check now. Now it will show a message what permissions he have. You don't have any permission level given to Praveen is none. So I'm closing this. To grant the permissions to the user, I can grant from here. This is the option. We can provide access to the end users. Now click this one. Here again enter the username. Okay, click show options. Now here select a group or a permission level. Now what I want is, I don't want to add this user into group. I just want to give a contribute permission. I think in the previous session we were discussed about what permissions level are and what is the use of it, I think. Okay, and then I am clicking this contribute and click share. Now if you want to check, go to check permission and it will show the user have a contribute permission. Now I am going back and I try to refresh this page. Still I will not get access because this is access denied page. So what I'm doing is I'm pasting same site URL, and then now press enter. Now see, user is able to see the site. See, he's able to see home page, and some design is missed out here, maybe the web part permissions, but he's now able to access the site as well as list also. Now list, this list do not have any of the items. Okay, fine, we'll add the items later. Now this user is able to see this list as well. Now I'm going back to my administrator account. Now I'm coming back to my list. Okay, now this list having only one column, and we'll add one more column here. I'm creating one more column. I'm just giving a name as a single line of text and click OK. Okay, now I'm going to quick edit. I'm adding Mr. Sheikh, and then I'm adding Mr. Risham. Okay, stop editing. Now this list have two items. I'm going back to my Internet Explorer. When I refresh this one, so the two items also, the Praveen able to see these two items as well. Now we'll come back to system account. Now why this person Praveen also able to see the list items, because we given access to the site, but still the user is able to see the list items as well. But here my concern is, I don't want to expose the items to the site users. I just want to expose these items to the particular users only. Then what I have to do, I want to maintain the permissions in a list level as well. So then I can go to list settings. I can go to permissions for this list. Now the Praveen also able to see, because he is having a access in the site level. See, this list inherits permissions from its parents demo Ravana. Now I don't like it. Now what I want is, I want to remove this guy from this list, but I don't want to remove from the site. So for that we can use this option, stop inheriting permissions. But when I hit this one, you are able to create a unique permissions for this list. Changes made to the parent side permissions will no longer affect this list. So which means if you add some guy in the parent side, the person will not get access to this list. Now click OK. But it will not remove the existing permissions. Now I'm going back to Praveen user. I'm going to home, and I'm coming back to list. Still this person is able to access. Now what I want is, I'm I'm going to open this one in another browser. Now I'm pasting site URL here. Now I'm trying to open with Mahesh. Okay. See, the user don't have access to the site. Now I'm going back to Chrome. Here I'm going to home page. I'm again going to site action gear, site settings. Now I'm going to site permissions. Now again I'm granting permission to Mahesh. I'm giving contribute access. Now share it. Okay, go back to your Firefox, and this Firefox is trying to open with Mahesh. See, now Mahesh able to see the site. Now where is the list? He's not able to see the list. And I'm going back to search in the site contents. I have site contents option here. In the site contents, and there is no site, sorry, there is no list. What is the list name? SPD list. The list is not available to him because he don't have access. Still what I know is, I know the URL of the list. I'm going back, I know this URL. I'm copying this URL and I'm pasting here in the browser. Now try to access with the URL. See, the user will get a message, sorry, this site hasn't been shared with you, but he is able to access the site. He's not able to access the list. Now try to open the site. Yes, he's able to open the site, but he is not able to open the list. Now come back, and I don't want to give a access to Praveen, and from the system account I'm removing access, not to the site. I'll remove access to list, permissions for this list, and I want to remove this Praveen. Okay, remove user permission, click OK. Now come back to your Internet Explorer. He can able to access home page, and he's not able to access the list. If you have the URL and paste the URL, try it out. Sorry, this site hasn't been shared with you, because the user don't have access to the list. Now other two users don't have access to this list, so that's why he's getting a message like, sorry, this site hasn't been shared with you. Now what I want is, I want to give a access to the list to these two guys, but different level of access I'll give. Now I'm giving a Praveen, I'm giving contribute access, share, and again for Mahesh I'm giving, I have another access called read. Okay, now share. Now come back to IE, paste the list URL, enter. Now Praveen is able to access. Now go to Firefox and paste it and try it out. Mahesh also able to access, but see the difference. Mahesh having read access only. See, he don't have a new item option here. When he go to items, this new item is grayed out, because Mahesh having only read access, he's not able to edit or he's not able to create a new item. But when I go back to Praveen, he have a contribute access, which means he can able to add the new item. When he hits new item, he can able to see the new item window. So now he's able to add like Mr. Praveen, sorry, and try to save it. He's able to save. And when you hit this one, go to item, he can able to add the new item, he can view the item, he can edit the item, which means he also have the edit and delete option. But whereas Mahesh only he have view option, he cannot able to edit, he cannot able to add the new item, he can view the item, that's it. So that's why he have a read access. Okay, but I'm coming back to here. When I try to grant access, I have few options, which means if he go with a view only or read, he can able to see the items. And if we give a contribute, he can able to delete that, and edit also can delete. In the design also he can able to delete, and he can do anything. Full control also he can do something. But what my intention is, I don't want to give a delete option to the end users. Then how I can do? So now we can able to grant the permission. What my intention is, I don't want to give a delete permission to the end user. So to do that, we can create a custom permission level. So we were discussed, I think, about the permission levels. I'm going to site settings. Here I have a site permissions, and here I have permission levels. When I go to permission level, I have these permission levels. Full control, we'll discuss from view only. So view only can view the pages, list items, documents, document types with a server-side file handlers can be viewed in a browser but not downloaded. So which means they can able to see but they cannot download. And the limited access, they can view a specific list, document libraries, list items, folders, documents when given permission. And read, they can able to see and they can download. For contribute, they can able to see, add, edit, update, delete as well. And in the edit, they can able to do what contribute having, which means including download, and also edit can handle the list and libraries as well in the top level. And design, they can able to do these things as well, they can customize the pages also. And full control, full control can able to do all these things, as well as they can able to give the permission to other users. So now here there is no specific option that satisfies user can able to read and update and add, but they cannot delete the existing items. There is no permission level like that. So what I want is I want to create a new permission level that need to satisfy this condition. Like people can able to add, edit, but they cannot able to delete. That I want to create. So how we can create? For that, we have an option called add a permission level here. When I hit this one, it will redirect to another page. Now here what I want is I want to give a permission level called add comma edit. No, so without give edit, I'm giving update and no, sorry, update. I'm just giving no delete. So in the permission level, it will not accept commas and any special characters. Now the description, I'm just giving a message without delete. Now these are all the different permissions we have on the different levels. See, list permissions. In the list permissions, what I want is I want add items. When you click add items, the view items also will come with this, because if you see the item, then you can able to add, or if you add the item, you need to know the item is added or not. So you need view items as well. What I want is I want to edit items. I don't want to delete items. So I'm not selecting this. Okay, and we have a list permissions here. If you want to go with the site permissions, you can have the site permissions, you can choose anyone. And personal permissions, you want to manage the personal views or add or remove personal web parts, and these are the different permissions. Okay, what we want is we want to add the items and edit the items. That's it. We don't want a delete option. Okay, I created it. Just click create option. Now see, in the existing permission level, there is a new permission level also created. Here the description is without delete. Okay, and if you create any permission level, if you don't like it, you can choose that one and then click delete selected permission level. Okay, so before deleting this, we need to test it, right? So I'm going back to spd list. Now I'm going to list permissions, go to list settings, and here we have an option called permissions for this list. Now there is a person Mahesh, he already have a read access. I want to modify his access level. So then click on Mahesh and then click edit user permissions and unselect read, or you can add this one with that, add update no delete. Now click OK. Now what happens when I go back to Chrome? Now earlier Mahesh have only read access, so that's why when he hits this one, he's not able to see new item, edit item. Okay, and I'm refreshing this page and select any one of the item. Now see, he can able to add a new item option is available, edit option is available. But what I would want is I don't want to delete. See, the delete option is grayed out to the Mahesh. Now I come back here and when I hit here also, there is no edit, sorry, no delete option. He can able to view item, he can able to edit item, and also he can able to create a new item, but he cannot delete the existing item. So this is a custom permission level we created. Now, done, and I'm coming back to Chrome and I'm going back to my site permission levels. Here I have site permissions and go to permission level. If you want to create a new one, you can hit this one and you can create. If you don't want any of the existing one, you can delete, but you cannot delete the full control, you cannot delete the limited access. These are the system default, you cannot do that. But if you remove the full control, then other people cannot give a access to other users. So that's why this permission level you cannot delete, and this is also system default one. You cannot delete this one, but you can delete view only. You can delete a newly created custom permission level as well. Okay, but don't delete the existing site custom permissions, because if you delete this one, if in your site there is a thousands of users having this permission level, they will lost this permissions. So it's very difficult to retrieve the permissions to the end user if you create a new one, and the new one will not apply to the existing users. But if you delete the existing one, all the existing users will lost the access, and this is very uh, important, because people will delete something and they cannot revert back. So that's why do not delete any custom permission level or existing permission level which is already exist. Okay, now we discussed about permission levels. Now we'll see one by one all this option. We covered grant permissions. So which means you wanna give a permission to any of the user. So then you must and should hit this one and then enter the username. And when you try to enter a username, it will fetch from an active directory. Okay, and then once you fetch the user, click show options and select any of the permission level, and then select it and then share to the user. The user will get access. Now I think this topic already covered in yesterday's class, but I'll create a new group and I'll explain again. So what is the advantage of creating a SharePoint groups? First we'll discuss. If there is a hundred members working in a same uh, group, maybe, or maybe same domain, or maybe same functional area, so we want to give a access to 100 people to multiple lists, then what happens, you always have to enter the 100 people name in each and every list. If it is in a 20 place, 30 place, okay, you can try to enter in 2 or 3 days, but if it is in a thousands of places, then it's very difficult to add, right? So to resolve this one, and SharePoint introduced a SharePoint groups option, and also we have the same concept in Active Directory domain groups. If anyone worked in an organization, you people may know about it, because you are getting a mail something like company underscore all, then all the people in the company will get the same mail. Or maybe people working in a management group and they have the management DL, like that. We also have the option to create a groups inside SharePoint. Now I'm creating a group called managers group. Okay, to give access to managers something, you can give any of this one. This is also optional. Now who is the owner of this group? Now I'm creating with a system account, so that's why it's already fetched my username as system account. You want to change, you can remove this one and you can add the owner name. So what is the advantage of owner? Owner can able to add the users, and also owner can able to delete the group as well. And then coming back to group settings, now the first message, who can view the membership of the users? Now people are trying to know how many users were in this group, then you want to give to the everyone, which means everybody can able to know that how many users in this group if you click this one. Or otherwise, if you give only group members, only the members in the group able to know how many users in this group. And next, who can edit the membership of the group? Most probably it would be group owner, and sometimes it's not an important group. People can give a option to the group members as well, but you cannot give a access to other users. Now I'm making simply group owner only. Coming to membership request, the membership request is very simple, and people, they want to request to join in this group. If you click no, they cannot request. Only administrator or a group owner able to add if it requires. But if you give an option yes, end user also get an option to request a membership in this group. And then auto accept request, and this most probably no, because if it is an auto accepts, everybody can able to enter their names, and they can able to add their own. I'm sorry. So when I hit this one, and this will be enabled, because we are giving a access to request in this group. If you are not giving a request access, then there is a no meaning of auto accepts. No one requesting, there is no auto accepts. So we are not giving an option to request, then that there is no meaning to select these options. So if you click yes, so then the particular mail, when you request for a membership, the particular mail needs to go to a specific user, either maybe a system account or maybe any other user. You can enter an email ID here, then it will send a message to the user, and so and so person is trying to request in this group to join, and that message will go to this guy. Now I created this group, and what permission level it have, what I'm doing is I'm giving a contribute permission to this group, contribute permission to this managers group. Okay, then I'm clicking create. Now we got a error message, right? Here I selected allow request to join, yes, but I'm not mentioning any email address. But if I mention email address also, this server will not send emails because the SMTP server is not configured. So that's why what I'm doing is I'm clicking no, and I'm creating it. Okay, still I think we have a error message. No, we don't have. Now there is a new group created here. Now, okay, the group is created. We'll let it like this and we'll go back to home page. And I'm going back to my SPD list. Go to list settings. And I'm going to permissions for this list. Okay, I'll remove this Mahesh from this list. Now I go back to my Firefox. I'm getting sorry, this site hasn't been shared with you. Now what I'm doing is I'm going back to system account. Now go back to site settings, go back to site permissions. Okay, now here we don't have group here, right? We have this group contribute permissions managers groups here. I'm selecting this group. Now there is no user here. What I'm trying to do is I'm trying to add a new user in the group. Mahesh, click share. Now go back to your permission level, site settings, site permissions. Now Mahesh have access to this site. Here it's showing contribute permission. What I'm doing is I'm going back to Firefox. I'm removing it, enter. Now this guy have a access to site. Now what I'm doing is I'm removing Mahesh from the site, remove user permissions, click OK. And I'm coming back to my Chrome. I'm refreshing it, or enter again, refresh this page. Still this user having access. How? Because this user getting access from this group. So I want to know how he is getting access. Then I go to check permissions. When I enter Mahesh, click check now. Now you have a contribute permission from managers group. Okay, so which means if you remove the user from the site permission, if he have access from the group, he can able to get the access. Now what I want is I want to remove Praveen access also. I'm removing from here. Click OK and go back to your IE and click home. He'll get an error message. Now I'm coming back to managers group. I can add a multiple users. I'm clicking new and I'm entering Praveen. Click share and come back to your IE. So this is your site URL. Enter. Now he is able to access because he have a access from the managers group. Now you don't have access to the specific list. Even when I go to Firefox, even this user also not having access to a particular list. I'm going back to this SPD list and go to list and list settings and go to permissions for this list and then check permission. I'm checking for Mahesh. See, he don't have access. Now I want to give access to these two users at once. So how I can give? Go to grant permission. Here I'm trying to enter. Okay, see, managers. See, I have a managers group. This is not available in active directories. See, when I mouse over it, it just showing a managers group. Okay, when I hit this one, here it is showing a edit permission level, and I can give the permission contribute, click share. Now this group have contribute permission here. Then what I'll do, I'm going back, I'm refreshing this page. I can see SPD list. See, now the SPD list is available. Now all the items available because I have a contribute. I can able to add the new items. I can edit the items. Now I am going back to my Chrome as well. When I refresh this page, I can see SPD list also, because now these users having access from the group level. So that is the advantage of SharePoint groups. We can create the SharePoint groups in site set from the site settings. Go to site settings, and here also we have option people and groups. You can go from here or you can go from here. When you hit site permissions, you can have this option create group. Here another option people and groups. When I hit this one, I'll have a option to create a new group here, or new you can add the new user, but I am going to groups. Here there is a new option. When you hit this one and the same window appears, you can give a group name, about group, and a owner and other settings and the permission level, and then click create. You have two ways to create a groups. One is directly you can go to site permissions and you can create, or you can go to people and groups and you can hit new and then you can create a group. So if you have existing group and this is already created, I want to edit it directly, you can hit edit option, or you can hit this one. When you hit this one, it will open a same window just before visa. If you want to add the new users, if you hit here and you can add the users, or if you want to modify it, something like there is Mahesh is already available, you want to delete this guy, select this guy and then remove user from the group. Hit remove user from the group and it will delete the user. And you want to do any settings, and you can go to settings option, and there is an option called list settings. When you hit this list setting option, and you can see a general list settings option, but this is user information list, remember it. And sometimes in interviews people will ask what list will save the users, and it will save inside user information list. This is very important. You want to do any modification, you can do from here, but this is not much important. Only the thing is where the data is saving. It is saving in user information list, and the URL is people.aspx. The title of the list is user information, and the list URL is people.aspx, and this is a site URL, and this is a peoples.aspx is a list view name. Okay, fine, we'll go back to site permissions. So we covered grant permissions, we covered creating groups, and we also covered edit user permission. Something like you want to change the permission level, you can select this one, go to edit user permissions. It will show the permission levels, and you can change the permission level as well from here. Okay, then click OK. And this is remove user permissions. We already discussed. If you want to remove, just select it and click remove user permission. It will remove the user permissions from here. If you have thousands of users inside your list permissions, you want to know for a particular user what access he have, then you can go with the check permissions. This one also we covered, and this is about permission levels. So how many permissions levels we have to know, we can know from here. And also we can create a custom permissions level using this option. And the last option, we are working with the site collections, and initially we created a site collection. At that moment we can give only 2 administrators. Now I want to make more administrators in the site collections. I can do from here. When you hit site collection administrators, and here one administrator is available, and I want to add Mahesh also as an administrator, Praveen also as administrator, and Santosh also administrator, and etc etc. You can add multiple users as administrators from a site collection administrator options. And you want to remove the existing, yes, you can click this one again, and you can hit this cross mark, and the person will remove from the administrators list. So this is about permission levels. Now we also covered the inheritance, and tomorrow we can discuss more into inheritance. Now this is about permissions and permission levels, custom permissions, and how we can give a permissions to the users in a site level and in a list level. And uh, now we'll cover how we can work with the individual item level. Now we'll remove these users in the site administrators list. I remove these two users, click OK, and we'll remove this group as well. Okay, I'm going back to list, and here also we have list settings. Okay, and we have permissions for this list. Now we already removed that, and I'm coming back to my list. Now here I have total 3 items, right? But this item I don't want to expose to the other users. Now first I'll give a access to these users in the list level first. Okay, going back to list settings. Now grant permissions to Mahesh and Praveen, and I'm giving contribute permission. Click share. Now I'm coming back to my list. Now I have 3 items, and especially I like this item do not expose to other world. So here I have an option called shared with. When I hit this shared with, it will open a window. It will show who having the permission to this particular item. So once we know that permissions, and then we can remove other users, and we'll give a unique permissions to that. See, 3 people having access to this. I'm going to advanced. I'm removing these 2 guys. Before remove, I cannot do that here because it's inheriting permissions from parent list. Now I'm clicking stop inheritance. Now I'm removing these 2 guys. Remove user permissions, then click OK. Now come back to your list. When you hit, Praveen is able to see 2 items. And what about the third item? He's not able to see. I'm going back to this Firefox. I'm refreshing this page, and he also able to see the 2 items only. He cannot able to see the third item because it it's not inheriting permissions from its parent, and only the system account able to see this item, which means we are restricting this item from other users to visible. Now I have 2 more items, and I'm going to shade with, I'm going to advanced settings, I'm stopping the inheritance, click OK. Now I want to edit Mahesh permissions, and I just want to give a read permission, click OK. and for Praveen, and I want to give contribute, or I want to give no contribute, just add, update, no delete. Click OK. Now come back to here, then refresh the page. Now when he hits Praveen item, he can go to item, he can edit the item, he can able to edit the item. The edit option is available. When I unselect this, when I select other item, and still he is able to edit and he cannot delete. Now when I come back to this item, when I unselect this and Praveen item, he can able to delete. But when he come back to another item, Mr. Sheikh, it's not able to delete because this item having a unique permissions, he cannot able to delete this item. But when I come back to here, refresh it, even this guy go to item, he can able to read, he cannot able to edit as well. And coming to Praveen, he can able to edit because he having a different access. Now this guy having a different access, he cannot able to edit, he cannot able to delete. Now when I go back to Praveen item, and now he can able to edit and he can able to delete, which means individual security also we have. We can restrict the items in item level, as folder level, and also list level, and also site level. We have a levels of permissions. If administrator don't want to give access to anyone, he cannot, he can able to do that. But other people cannot able to delete the item once he is not getting access. Still he have a full control on the site, and he have a full control on the list, but he don't have a access to a specific item, he cannot able to do anything on it. So that is levels of security we have in a SharePoint. Done.